We're broadcasting.
It says we're live.
It says we're live. Well, I've been alive for quite some time.
I'm gonna go share this.
Yep. Let's see if it comes up. Share as me.
Oh, I
Share. There we go.
let's see.
Yes.
I think I can show you. Hold on, not that. Signal, Kim. I don't know if I got it right now, but I did the I used that app Lenzo. Actually, I can start my phone.
I have no
And
idea what you're trying to tell me.
was that?
I have no
Well,
idea
I
what you're
know.
trying to tell me.
I know. Hang on. So you load it up with about 10 selfies, and
Yes.
then 10 to 20 selfies, and then comes up with some AI images of you, right? So it could be adventure style, or the sci-fi style, like you saw on Facebook, like my avatar. Um, Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you link devices. There were some interesting ones on there. All right, give me 1 second. Pull
For
this
those
up.
of you that are just joining us, we're just going through a little pre-show prep on Technorama Podcast. Thank you for watching. We'll get the audio program started shortly. So it's not
Yeah.
confusing what these two idiots are babbling about.
Well, there was a couple of funny ones. Like here you go. I'm gonna show you on my phone. So here we go. Like,
That's what?
can you see the resemblance?
Ottoman Empire Craig?
Yeah. This one I kind of liked. It looks like I belong in the Foo Fighters or something.
Or arrested?
Arrested.
That's your mugshot.
This one actually was cool.
Too serious.
Too serious? Let's see. Let me pull it back up. There were some decent ones. I like the ones that look like I'm on the cover of the Omni magazine. There was one that made me look like the Doctor Who. Here you
Ah,
go.
Doctor Who with the mustache. That was the unaired season.
Yeah.
Welcome to Technorama with
There you
Chuck
go.
and
There's a
Craig.
couple right there.
Wee-oo. The one next, the one on the with that reddish background looks like Harrison.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't? Well,
That's creepy.
yeah. Let's see. There was another good one. And there was one looked like it's from Star Wars. I got a blaster in my arm. The thing does a good job, taking your likeness and changing it up. But yeah, some of them don't quite look like me. Others say that was pretty good. There's some knights. Here's what was that one? Oh, so yeah, I sent since we were just going through the art galleries in Italy. I told I I told Kim and Harrison, I sent him this picture. I said, here's an art piece you missed.
It's the Greek leader, the ancient Egyptian leader Imhotep.
Step. That's right. It did some that it just didn't look right. Some statues, and I was like, okay, I don't get that one, but I think AI said, "Oh, I'm tired of messing with these," and just threw some generic ones at me.
All right, should we start our show?
Sure.
That was fun. We got a few viewers hanging out with us. Hey, Ranger Craig is out there.
What?
Yep.
No
Excited
way.
to join us this evening.
Welcome, Ranger.
I almost Hit the wrong button right there. Let me get this off screen and bring up the recording. I am on podcast profile. Go over to the recorder. And we will begin in 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 697. Me on a job application versus me in real life. Well, hello and welcome to Technorama. This is a show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time joining us, thank you. Thank you very much. And if you're returning watcher, listener, lurker, welcome back. I am Chuck Tomasi from Phoenix, Arizona, and right over there is Craig Stepp. How are you?
Hey there,
Craig?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
You're on the right-hand coast.
Well, I'm trying to. I don't know. Yeah, I'm over here. Oh, I'm on the right-hand coast. Yes, that's right.
That's and I'm next door to the left-hand coast.
Yeah. Well, I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Are you on your job application any different than you are in real life?
I only put truth on the job application because if you lie on your job on your resume or a job application, someone's going to find out sooner or later. Bad idea all around. But we're not here for career advice. No, although we may give some in our Patreon show.
Well, I did fudge my first resume.
Said you had a college degree? You were in the military?
No,
you worked for Santos, the guy who was lying all over the place on his.
No, actually, my boss at the time, his nephew was a friend of mine at school, so that's how I knew about the job. So I couldn't fudge it too much because he knew I was a high school student or just got out of high school, and he cursively knew me beforehand. So I couldn't go too far off the rails, but I did fudge a little bit of, yeah, I know how to do that, kind of thing.
Yeah, I went to college. I drove right up to the building and dropped off my brother and then drove away. I went to the college.
I walk across the campus all the time. It's right next door. So,
well, we had a question of the week for you, everybody, last week. Let's see what happened to that. Let's play the traditional music first.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy!
Mailman, mail today.
By the way, John Miller Jr. says, "Sup?
Sup? Cat's up?
Yeah.
Up the tree."
Wait.
Question of the week was what?
Wait a minute.
Yes?
We're getting live feedback here. What's creepy?
It was either your pictures or me flipping this Technorama thing back and forth.
Oh yeah. Oh, he must have been. Yeah, he was probably talking about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, our question last week was, what are you hopeful for in the new year? Movies, shows, anything? Well, the anything really opened the floodgates on this one. We'll pick some of the best that we've got, which isn't saying much, but thank you for everybody who responded. We got one from Charles Helms, says, "You've got this." That's what he's hopeful for.
He's hoping that we got it. Okay.
Are you looking at the notes, or am I going to read this all myself?
No. Steve London says the perfect project with accurate use cases, stories, and crystal clear goals. Keep dreaming, pal. I know. Yeah, that's right. I know it's easier to achieve world peace. Yep, that's right. But that's some new models. And some new models to build. Just put it in an order for Pinta. What? By I'm trying to what? I'm getting lost here. Of course,
we're out of context.
Yeah, he's looking forward to Knowledge 23
models. Yes, Knowledge 23. Yes, that's coming up.
Yeah,
that's our work conference.
Yeah, that's our work conference, and it happens in Las Vegas this year. So,
and it happens in how many more days? 125-ish.
Yeah. Well, I got people to help now, so it's not so bad. I'm
We'll
not
get
alone.
there. Just need to fulfill my goals for 2023 with the new ServiceNow certificate to go. And we're going to talk about goals on our some of Craig's and my goals on the Patreon show.
That's right.
John Kratzer says, more money for new tech. I'm hopeful for that too.
Yeah. Yeah, he's hoping that Donna will okay some purchases.
I just added a new thing to my Amazon wish list. It's nothing major. I need some blanks for my audio rack. There's a whole bunch of places where there's just like open wires. It's like, no, you need one of those blanks that you can just block off and not see the garbage from the front side. But yeah, minor stuff. They're not
plywood.
cheap.
Use plywood. I've seen people do that.
Just screw the plywood to a 19-inch rack. That looks great, Craig.
I've seen it done.
I've seen crappy data centers in my life too.
I didn't say I did it, but I've seen it. Lone Guys Night says a functioning democracy. Man, keep wishing for that too.
Yeah, there's a few of those around here. Mike Wills also says, I'm hopeful for less insanity by our leaders. And then Sean Brockman starts on and says, less war, more solving problems, less political agendas, more actual long-term plans and execution, more learning, less stupidity. And my favorite, which he saved for the end, and so did I, more tacos.
More tacos. There you go. Eat all the tacos.
I
was
like
that
it.
Said, what was that? Eat every who was that? Oh yeah, Warren Zevon. He said he had that song "Eat Every Sandwich, Enjoy Every Sandwich." Excuse me.
If you say so.
He did.
Okay.
You should know, Mr. Karaoke.
We're moving on.
Another letter from our listener Dave.
This leads us right into
oh boy,
the history. On this day in history for January 11th, 2023. It's going to take a while before that just rolls up the tongue, isn't it?
2022-3. Yeah.
I write it. I can write it now without having to think about it, but I just haven't said it too much. This is the 11th. This would have been my 35th anniversary at my old job.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yep. Well, January 11th.
Except for the whole they let you go kind of thing.
Yeah, at 22. So do the math. That was 13 years ago.
That's right.
There's just 354 days remaining in this Gregorian calendar. It was on this date in 1759 that the first American life insurance company, 1759, we had the first American life insurance company. Get the name of this. The Corporation for Relief of Poor and Distressed Presbyterian Ministers and of the Poor and Distressed Widows and Children of the Presbyterian Ministers.
Wow.
Really got to work on the branding on that. It's now part of the Unum Group, which is incorporated in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Wow. That's a little, I'm not sure that's better.
I hope they didn't pay for the letter on the signage.
Right. All right. It was 236 years ago today that William Herschel discovered Titania and Oberon, 2 moons of Uranus.
He said Herschel.
He said Titania.
It was on this date in 1908 that the Grand Canyon National Monument is created.
And it was also on this date in 1922 that Leonard Thompson became the first person to be injected with insulin.
1908. The Grand Canyon looks much older than that.
Yeah.
It was also on January 11, 1927, Louis B. Mayer. Yep, you know that mayor from Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, MGM, announced the creation of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences at a banquet in Los Angeles, California. It sounded like you just stood up and said, hey, I got an idea.
That's right. Also today in 1935, Amelia Earhart became the first person to fly solo from Hawaii to California.
Very good. Not just the first woman, but the first person. Nobody tried that before.
Yeah.
That same date in 1949, the first, quote, networked television broadcasted took place as KDKA TV in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It went on the air connecting the East Coast and Midwest programming.
And 55 years ago today was the end of network programming with Netflix.
No.
It
Read
was
on.
also on the do it.
Read on, smart guy.
All right. It was on this date in 1964 that the Surgeon General of the United States, Dr. Luther Terry, MD, publishes the landmark report, Smoking and Health, Report of the Advisory Committee to the Surgeon General of the United States,
Here comes.
said that smoking may be hazardous to your health. May, they left the word may in there. Sparking fire, get it? National and worldwide anti-smoking efforts.
Didn't go on the package of cigarettes yet. That wasn't in 64, but they were on their way.
Yep.
That same date in 2020, just a few scant years ago, municipal health officials in Wuhan announced the first recorded death from, COVID-19, our old friend.
Wow, that's
Give
already
they
showing
keep
up in the
on giving.
history.
Yeah, that makes you feel like hardly a day has gone by, has it?
I know.
That was 3 years ago, buddy.
That's right.
Happy birthday. And some people said, this will be over in a couple of weeks.
I'll be honest with you. I thought it was going to be at least a few months, and
No, I could
bunch of
tell it
months.
was a long haul thing.
yeah.
Happy birthday goes out on this date to English engineer and architect Samuel Bentham, born in the state in 1757.
And Ezra Cornell, the American business and philanthropist, founded Western Union and Cornell University, was born on the same date in 1807.
Western Union. Swedish mathematician and physicist Albert Victor Backlund was born on this date in 1845.
And G.W. Pierce, American physicist and academic, was born on the same date in 1872.
Lawrence Hammond, the American engineer and businessman, founded the Hammond Clock Company, was born 128 years ago today, or 2 to the 7th if you're a nerd.
His time has run out. Get it? Anyway, born January 11th, 1906, Swiss chemist and academic. Discovery of LSD, Albert Hoffman.
Cool, man. Far out.
Yeah, tune in or drop in and tune out. Or
I can see this podcast, man.
I can see the colors coming out of my speakers.
Russian colonel, pilot, and astronaut Lev Diomin was born 97 years ago today.
An American web developer and businessman co-created WordPress, which I use all over the place. Matt Mullenweg was as 39. Is that 39? I thought he'd be slightly older by now. But
no. No.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
He invented it when he was 8 years old.
Probably not far off.
Listener birthdays this week include the 13th, Tim Cook. Yes. Glenn Toller on the 14th. The 15th is Ralph Whitfield, a.k.a. Goofy Ralph, and Fuffy Frog on the 17th. That's the way it was on this day in history for January 11th, 2023. And if you want to get on the birthday calendar, you can go over to chuckchat.com/birthday. That's for all you audio people. For the people watching on video, Craig's going to put that lower third up right now. That says birthday calendar, chuckchat.com/birthday in 3, 2. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
I was hitting the keys. I was hitting the short keys, and my focus was on something else, and it was like BC. I was like trying to get to it.
TMI, buddy. Leave the post-production to the post-production. All right. If it is your birthday and you're not on the calendar, we wish you all the best, and hopefully you can get over to chuckchat.com/birthday, get your name on the calendar. We'll give you a shout out at the appropriate time of year.
Yeah.
Let's continue on with the news with a random blue button.
By the way,
news, everyone.
Yes.
Mike Robeson chimed in. I think this is one of his wishes for the new year. Better internet so he can watch more live feeds.
I think it's Robinson.
Robinson. I mess it up. I'm sorry.
There's your goal for 2023.
Yeah. No kidding.
It wouldn't be Technorama if Craig pronounced names correctly.
Don't start with that.
18 years.
I know. It's my shtick, man.
It's your brand. You got to stick with it.
That's right.
All right. We have a number of articles here, 3 of them for the news segment. The first one is from the U.S. Sun. which introduces us to another use for artificial intelligence. Now we've seen AI draw pictures, artwork. Craig was showing us some of those just
Yeah.
before we started the audio recording.
Yeah.
We've seen AI with Chat GPT doing some amazing things, like even write script to potentially put some developers out of work. Well, now we're after the lawyers because, that's just what it is. There's a company named, I'm looking for it, Do Not Pay. And Do
Okay.
Not Pay has created an AI chatbot, much like ChatGPT. And it
Yes.
is going to take in the facts from a court case and advise the counsel on what they should do. So it's not going to stand up and say, "I object." Okay, right?
Right.
It's going to be listening to things that are happening in the courtroom, and it will take that all into account, and the AI will process this and send it back. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's interesting. Well, remember they were talking about using Watson, IBM's computer, to not make judgment call. Well, I guess kind of got make judgment calls on medical uh diagnosis. So I
We're
don't
getting
know.
to that one too soon.
Yeah. So well, yeah. I mean, they were feeding it all kinds of medical journals and whatnot, periodicals, and it was coming up with some stuff that people hadn't realized thought about before. So I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know if I would want to rely on it for somebody's going to prison or not, the kind of thing. I don't know. What do you
I
think?
like it from the standpoint that you think of the massive, massive amount of cases that lawyers need to reference. Oh, that was, Jones versus State of Education in 1964 when the case
Yeah.
yielded this really. Just all those results and all of those cases that you need to keep track of or research, this could really help crush a lot of that down. I'd be interested in seeing if we can get that sort of library on demand real quick too. Yeah,
Hmm.
almost like, when you're watching sports and they're feeding all these stats into, like, AWS or something, and they come
Right.
back and go, "Oh, if he gets 3 more yards, he'll beat so and so's record from 1982,"
Yeah.
or "This is the 3rd time that this team has done this since such
Yeah.
and such
All the
playoffs."
little facts that they throw out and during the
Really,
game.
and some of them are really obscure, really
Yeah.
obscure. You're like, you couldn't do that without some fast stats on a computer.
Hmm.
And I'd be curious to see if AI can help us with the volumes of information from law cases in the past. So that could potentially speed up the law process because think of how much
Or
time lawyers need to prepare for a case, and it's like this is crazy.
you know what it sounds like you're describing? Like a paralegal. Somebody you can maybe somebody you could ask a question about to the GPT or
Or maybe 3 or 4
the
legals. We don't need just a paralegal.
right. Well, I mean, you could say, "Do I have a case, or is there something I should do for this or just do for that?" And maybe it can give you some advice before passing you on to the attorney. I don't know.
Let's use computers for that drudge work that, humans don't like doing so that
Hey,
lawyers can
yeah,
focus on those
I s-
well-crafted statements to persuade the jury
well, I've
when
got an idea. Why don't we get two chatbots to sue each other so we don't even have to be involved? We just find out what happened at the end. Take us out of the whole thing completely.
I don't think I'm gonna put my money there.
Okay.
And
All
they'll
right.
still
Well,
charge way too much.
right. Yeah. Right.
Alright, we have some,
Right.
space
Do you
porn for
do
you.
you know the cost of electricity today? That's justification for the bill.
GPUs aren't as cheap as they used to be.
Crypto is out.
My mom wanted me to be a Bitcoin miner.
Oh boy.
My parent process thought I was slow.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right,
wait a
we've
minute.
got some
I
space.
hear another
Yeah.
country song coming up about being a Bitcoin miner. There's daughter. There you go. Bitcoin miner's daughter.
Oh, by Patsy Clone. Mhm.
That's it. Oh, that's it. That's it.
All right,
Okay.
should we share this wonderful picture? We have this
Yeah.
great space picture, Hubble space image of it's actually like a little small cluster of stars that's diffusing over time into, what was it, the Small Magellanic Cloud, which is one of the globular clusters just outside of the Milky Way. So I thought it was pretty cool. And
It
I don't
is.
have much to say about that other than it's a cool picture.
It is a cool picture.
All right, back to our regularly scheduled talking heads. We had a third story in the news. Sadly, where'd the story go? Oh, it scrolled too far down. Mr. Sim Wong Hu. You may not recognize that name at first, but you certainly know his work if you've been around the computer industry for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away on January 4th at age 67, which doesn't feel that old anymore to some of us older timers.
I used to think it was old. Now,
Yeah,
now,
it was like, wow, you made it all the way to 67. It's like, oh, you only made it to 67. Even 77 is starting to sound young. But anyway,
yeah.
he was the founder of Creative Technology, aka Creative Labs, as it was called in the US. They were the people that came up with SoundBlaster. Now, in the early days, let me take you to the Wayback Machine into the 80s. He founded this company in 1981. In the early 80s, computers didn't have much for sound,
Not
and
really.
you had
More
to
like
add a
beeps.
sound card.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more like
if you
just a beep, like a Pezio.
or maybe 8-bit sound if you were dealing with like a Commodore or something,
Mm-hmm. Well,
or you could,
that was kind of groundbreaking in itself. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. This was full on stereo quality sound out of your machine. You took up a slot. You had to put in a physical card, and they
Yeah.
often had like RCA jacks in or out, and so your computer could place, and then you'd have your external speaker sitting on your desk. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I actually, maybe I did. I I don't know if I actually owned a Sound Blaster
Oh,
branded card at
I
any
know I
time.
did. Yeah, I
Uh,
know I did. Well, I
I
built
had
computers for a living. That's what I did.
yeah,
And we had parts and not I built one with a, of course, I go, up, gotta have a sound blaster in it. You know.
and eventually motherboards started including the sound technology in there, which was the
Yes.
death of that product line. What I didn't realize is that Creative also launched a range of MP3 players,
Yes. They were
and they kind of went head to head with Apple, going, your iPod stole our interface,
mm-hmm.
and apparently there was like a $100 million settlement on something like that.
Oh yeah. Well Creative was on the forefront regarding the players, and I remember they had some funky ones and just different designs. But yeah, I'd forgotten about that settlement with Apple. Yeah.
So we will we admit, don't like hearing about the news of some of these pioneers, but if you ever get in a trivia question, have something to do with Creative Labs with Sound Blaster, just throw the name Sim Wong Hu out there.
Yeah, and they'll say, "Huh?"
Now, who's the current CEO? They said CEO is right now is Sung Su. I can't pronounce it. SIOW. Xiu Hui. HUI. I
I was
apologize
sup-
for massacring that.
I I was surprised Creative is still around. What are they doing now?
I have no idea.
Hmm.
But whatever it is, it's probably pretty cool.
Yeah.
Should we go on to our next segment?
Sure.
We have some hacks and strange stories to tell you about.
Yeah, we do.
And the first one is about the ISS. Now, we like ourselves some good ISS stories.
Yes.
And the one thing that you can certainly get away from on board the ISS, the International Space Station, is gravity.
That's
Now,
right.
there are things you can do in space, and there are things you can't do very well in space. One of the things you can do is build like structures, 3D structures, without the impact of gravity. So if you think about, hey, I want to string a wire from here to here, there's going to be a sag in it because of gravity. Not so in space. Well, what they
Right.
are doing, at first I thought they were going to be telling us about like 3D printers and whatnot, but what they're doing is building um, like parts almost, like not 3D printed parts, and it's more like injection molding. Only the molding is a silicone skin. So they make this silicone skin into some shape that they need, and then they put this resin in it, and then they hit it with UV light. The UV light goes through the silicone skin and hardens whatever's inside it. Can't do that in gravity. So they're doing this prototype. MIT has set up they sent up this sort of builder kit, maker fair, if you want, in November, and they're going to be using this for 45 days aboard the ISS, making all kinds of parts. And if it's successful, it could lead to like replacement parts. They go, hey, we broke a bolt or something on the ISS.
Yeah.
They could use something like this to make a new one, or could be a step towards, as they mentioned in here, habitats or other structures on the moon or Mars. Just learning how to deal with different gravities and the impact on that.
Yeah, because they, I know they have been using some 3D printing on the ISS for some things that they needed, without having to wait to have them shipped up. And this is even cooler because they can make these things like this without the constraints of gravity. So it's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about when, when Brad made this little Technorama Chuck and Craig thing for us, it had to have various supports. Now, some of that is like if you're making the letter C, you need the support because you can't print in space without some kind of support. Even if you were in space with zero G, that piece would float away before you got it completed. So you may still need some supports, but you may not need as much structural support for things that would sag or droop or whatever. Well, I'm starting to. We had old people, and now we got sagging and drooping. This show is getting a theme here.
Oh boy. I need to order that Technorama sign. I need to go.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
How are you going to print it, or will it come pre-printed?
I think order.
Oh, okay. You can have somebody else.
You can order it, and they'll print it sent to you.
Okay. And then we can have a painting contest. Now, I'm not painting mine; it glows in the dark.
Oh, that's even better.
Maybe you should get the glow in the dark one.
I'm gonna try.
Get that filament.
I need a 3D printer. That's what I need.
All right, one more that we've got here from the Hacks' Strange Stories. I don't even know if this is Strange Stories. This is a follow-on from an idea. Sounds very similar to what we talked to Dr. Michio Kaku years and years ago. Was it 2007, 2008 when he came out with his book, Physics of the Impossible?
Yeah. Well, the reason I put it under here is because I thought it was funny that CES, and they're peeing everywhere to test out the sensor.
So what we're talking about is a sensor that you would put in your toilet bowl that would analyze your urine, male, female, whatever. And right now they've got it set up for a couple of different things to monitor. One is, say, your nutritional status. Hey, you're low on vitamin C, or it reminds me.
Congratulations, Chuck, you're pregnant.
Well, no, it does. There's another sensor that will check ovulation cycle. Clearly, I wouldn't be using that one. But it could. One of the things we were talking about in our discussion, this is now going on 15 years ago, Craig, with Dr. Kaku, was he said, imagine where you had a sensor in your toilet or in the urinal, and when you peed on it, it would send information to your doctor or tell you right away on an app that said, hey, we've got the pre-stages, or we're detecting possibility of cancer. Like, whoa, as somebody who's dealt with cancer, that would have been really nice to know way early on.
As somebody that hasn't had it, and I don't want it, so it'd be nice to get a heads up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I think this has real benefits. They're not to that point yet, but they are looking at that. They're also trying to figure out, how do you send that information? Let's say I get the alert on my phone that says, this indicator is off a little bit. Can you work with the doctor? Can you send that information directly to the doctor? This is where I come back to my whole ideal world of HIPAA, health and privacy, and all the information. I should be the owner of that. I should have a vault, much like my passwords, where it contains all this information, family history, my surgeries that I've had, any other procedures, treatments, medications, all that stuff that makes me me, that I have to fill
Mhm.
out on every gosh dang form on every doctor's office,
Right.
right? Whether it's online or gasp old clipboard, I should be able to say, I am at Dr. Hutchins' office and I want her to have this information for 30 days, 90 days, indefinitely, whatever. But it's my information to share and retract and control for their system. Now, it may be part of their system. I think most doctors in the US anyway use this medical system called Epic. I know there's other systems out there, but that
Mhm.
seems to be the one that I'm running into most often. And it would have my vault, but allow me to control who has access or entitlement to what information.
Yeah.
Uh, that's my ideal vision. I never want to fill out another effing clipboard again in the
Well,
future. But
yeah.
this would help feed into that, and they much like because honestly, a couple of years ago, I was trying to get a heart what was it? A heart procedure, but the dentist something they needed to say, "Oh, Chuck, you need to stop taking aspirin." Oh, that's what it was. The dentist wanted to do some periodontal work, some gum tissue work. And
Right.
they said, "A week before, stop taking the aspirin." Well, my cardiologist has me taking 81 milligrams a day.
Mhm.
Okay? It's very common for older people,
Yeah.
and, I count myself as one of those. The, but they needed permission, and they needed to fax it from one doctor to the other, and I'm at a work conference
Wait, did you say fax
trying
it?
yes, I'm trying to track down why the dentist hasn't faxed the cardiologist and why the cardi I said, "This is stupid." That's when I came up with the idea. I should be able to go on my phone and go, you know, Dr. Hata gets
Yeah.
this information and, do you accept yes or no? Just we can fix
Yeah.
this. This is our occupational hazard of working at the company where we do, Craig, is we
Mhm.
see these inefficiencies and we go, I can fix this. Okay, I'm getting on a rant now based off of
Well,
this wonderful article.
Google was doing they had a health thing just like what you're talking about for a while, but I think that they killed off the beta because there was too many concerns about the HIPAA stuff, the
Oh,
privacy.
totally. There's security and whatnot,
Mhm.
privacy. Uh, Ranger Craig says it's called HMO.
That's right. So I think they did kill that off, but I thought it sounded pretty intriguing. I was like, hey, it'd be nice to just send the next doctor or whoever needs your information, just you know email it over instead of faxing it.
I don't even trust email at this point, Craig.
Oh
It's
no.
gotta be, a system much like your password vault where I say, "I want to share this information with
Hmm.
Craig." Okay, I can do that with other systems on the internet in a very secure and encrypted way. So, this is
Well, going back to urinal, the electronic urinal cake, I think it's interesting, and I'd totally be down for it, but it's a little pricey. It's like
Oh, yeah.
$527.
Oh, I thought it was in the $500 range, but yeah,
It
that's
is.
still a little
That's what I
pricey.
said. 527
But,
bucks. It's
time I'm optimistic that time will bring that down and
hmm
increase the capabilities.
yeah,
So, I
but
mean, we talked to him, like, 15 years ago. Imagine it now that it's a
well,
reality. This
I'm
isn't much different than my pool sensor, Craig. Once a night, it goes and tests the water for the pH, the
yeah,
chlorine,
sure. Yeah.
temperature, and it sends it to my phone, and you get these nice bar charts. So, I can imagine something similar to that where,
Yeah.
over time I right now, I'm gonna be a little too transparent, but there's a number of things that I have various doctors in various disciplines monitoring certain things. And they're like, "Hey, you're borderline here. Let's test you every year or every
hmm
2 years and see how
Right.
that's tracking."
hmm
So you want that detection. Imagine uh, colonoscopies. If you get a clean bill of health, they don't ask you for another 10 years. 10
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
That seems a little too far for me. Not that I want a colonoscopy every weekend.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. Well, the last time I did, I think he said 5. Well, what I did was I didn't have the traditional colonoscopy. I did the Cologuard where you mail it off,
Yeah, poop in a
which I
box.
thought was fun. I kept laughing because I kept thinking, it's actually legal for me to go in this box and ship it off somewhere in the mail.
And then you light it on fire on somebody's
Yeah.
porch, right?
Yeah, that mailman's trying to put it out, and no. But
Yeah. But
that was
the
pretty.
more you
that's fun.
can, the more you can prevent things like this or get earlier detection, so they're not as severe, then the more your long-term health costs will come down.
Right.
So this is a good thing in the end.
Oh, sure.
That was just not an intentional pun. Sorry.
Yeah. I was just thinking. I hope they have. I know what like my scale.
Yep.
If multiple people are set up for it, it'll know that different people are standing on it.
Yeah.
I wonder if this would actually know.
Oh, it
to
does.
give you
The
to
video,
give
the
you
guy
your
said,
information instead of
yeah, they said
maybe I
multiple
just
people
walked in
can
and took
use this. Yes,
Yeah.
it said based on the angle, it knows who's
the angle.
yeah,
Well,
and the
well,
flow.
I was
and
just thinking. Okay, here, case in point, you and I, we drive to Vegas, we drive back, and we both have to go to the bathroom as soon as we get to your house
Yep.
because it's a long trip. And then all of a sudden, you're getting some weird imbalance information because something because I peed on it.
flow detected from unknown user. Unknown
Unknown
user
source.
has unknown user has tennis elbow.
Yeah, urinator 1. Urinator
I'll
2.
be back.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in the urinator.
Yeah. Well, I do think it's just fascinating and
So
pretty
many jokes.
non-invasive. So yeah.
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm totally for it.
Yeah.
All right, that was our Hacks of Strange Stories. Now to give a shout out to the chat room. We never really came up with a shout out to the chat room sound. Really is that. So there are a number of people that join us on Sunday nights at 9:30 Eastern time on
That's right.
Facebook and YouTube. Join our chat. We'd love to see you there. Come on along. Just look for Technorama Podcast on YouTube or Facebook. You'll find us there. We've got Mike Robinson and Craig Glasner. We shouted out before. We got John Miller Jr. Those seem to be our loyal compatriots. We've got a few other people that haven't said anything in the chat, so we don't know you're there. But if you are there, you could give us a shout out. We'll give you the same. Otherwise, we'll just thank you quietly from over here in the corner.
Yeah.
for joining.
I'll
our
think about you.
podcast.
We'll wonder.
Join us. Come join us. We don't have anything in the Remember When, so we're going to move on to the Patreons. Yeah, there we go. So we have a number of people that have decided to be generous with their funds for as little as $1 a show. Guest has crossed a stream. Don't cross the streams. It would be bad.
No.
And on that comment, we just lost 2 more viewers.
That's right.
Nice job. Nice job. Well, thank you to our patrons. These are the people who really support the show. They keep the funds going. They make sure that our bandwidth and our hosting and our stream. Now I said can't say stream without getting a little chuckle inside.
I know. Our live stream. There you go.
Yeah, no. Stop right there. Every week we are there. Thank you very much to Alexa Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown, Chris Martinez, Chris MC, Dan D. Mancoyer. Thank you, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, John Clifford, John Noble. Thank you, Yorga Shrawan and Crazy Joe Adventures. He just came out with another video. That was kind of fun watching his arcade. Kyle Nishioka, a.k.a. Mad Marv. It's spelled K-Y-L-E, but it's pronounced Mad Marv.
That's right.
Leon and Mark Kilfoyle. Thank you to Brad Miller, Mike Wills, Paul Mackey, Saturday Morning Media, Stephen Weshy, Steve Therian. Thank you, Steve Cody, Steve London, and Tim Cook. All of you make this show possible.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's see where the music is. A long way from the end, so we'll just tune it out and come back. There we go. If you are feeling generous, if you enjoy this show, if we've made you laugh or you learned something by accident, then we invite you to join us. Patreon.com/Technorama Podcast is where you can go sign up. There's different levels. Like I said, as little as $1 a show. Very much appreciated. And in return, you get certain perks like an episode, kind of a backstage pass to this show where Craig and I hang out and discuss things that are
we
sometimes
solve all the world's problems on this podcast.
Yeah, that's That's where the secret society is, and you only get in if you got the magic ring.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and you know the handshake and the password.
Yeah, the Technorama Illuminati.
Aluminum what?
Yeah, aluminum,
And, we
aluminium.
also periodically through the
Uh,
year send out little tchotchkes, mostly in the form of postcards. But one of those, but we're looking at other options this year. And if you get to the T-shirt tier, I know it's starting to sound like a PBS thing at this point. Friends of the show get a tote bag.
Hey,
Maybe we should make tote bags.
yeah, we did send shirts out,
We did
and
say I'm wearing one of well, not this exact model, but I am wearing
oof, I almost wore the
maybe
same
this will be
shirt.
our 2021 model. Don't know
Yeah,
yet. We're gonna start working on the design because it takes us forever to get that approved.
yeah.
All right, we have another quick segment called "Pass Me the Remote." Okay, I did hear the harp strings that time.
That's right.
We have these are TV shows and movies and books and things that Craig and I have read, written, not written, watched, something like that.
Written? Okay.
Yeah, haven't you written a movie lately?
Yes, I have.
Okay. A couple of them. One of them is
It
very
bombed.
popular right now on Netflix called Glass Onion. The Glass Onion Knives Out,
Yes.
and very interesting show. I think you watched that. Did you mention this on a recent show as well?
Last week I mentioned it. Yes.
Okay, so you already watched it.
I started to put my name down here too because I was like, "Oh, I saw it," and went, "Wait a minute, I think I talked about it last week."
It's long. It's
Yeah,
really long. It's like 2.5 hours or more.
yeah.
We were watching and watching and going, "Is it over yet? Oh my god, we're only 45 minutes into it." So it starts out a little slow, but you need that buildup. In fact, we paused it at about 45, 48 minutes and, went and ate dinner, came back, and then the show turned around. I was like, "Wow, if we had just watched another scene, it would've
Oh
picked up."
yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was
Well, there's a lot
kind
of
of the theme.
setup. Yeah, at the
There
beginning.
is a lot of setup, and you need that setup for the depth of these characters to understand their backstory.
Hmm.
Um, Daniel Craig is obviously one of the bigger stars. Daniel Batista is also in this, and a number of
Dave
Dave,
Batista.
sorry.
Yeah.
What did I say? Daniel Craig and Daniel Batista?
Yeah.
They're brothers. Did you know that? They
Yeah.
look so much alike. The, but it's oh, who was the guy who played the rich guy? He was I was trying to place him. Uh, he reminds me of Cameron from Ferris Bueller, but it's not him. So
Oh,
anyway,
you're talking about now you messed me up.
yeah, see, yeah, I messed you up. It's all my fault that you
Right.
can't ever think of a name. But I liked it. At
Ed
the end of the
Norton.
day,
Oh my God, Ed Norton. Yes.
Ed Norton, yes. At the end of the day, I liked it.
Yes.
It was a bit predictable in places. Like as soon as they had a flashback and um, the girl said, "Hey, my twin sister." I'm like, I know exactly where this is gonna go. He's gonna put her
Yeah.
in the line of fire and blah blah blah. Like, yep, sure enough, it went there.
Well,
Uh,
what I liked was, and I mentioned this last time, was like you watch the story, it gets to a point, then they almost retell it with a different layer. You're like, oh, that's why he was like that. Then you find
yeah,
out something totally different later. It's like, you know,
I thought the ending would be a bit different.
yes,
'Cause but makes a confession. Well, he does make a confession right in front of them. Like, "Where's her recorder that she's had for the last 4 days?"
yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Well,
yeah,
remember
so
spoilers here. You know, it's
yeah,
still
okay.
fairly new. Yeah,
It's a good show. If you wanna just sit back and relax and watch a fun movie,
yeah.
I
Daniel
love
Craig nailed. Actually, all the actors really nailed their parts. I thought it
He's
was
got a
great.
southern accent now. That was interesting to watch that after just watching all of the, James Bond with Daniel Craig and,
Yeah. Well, he had that same accent in the first one in the Knives Out movie.
that was
Um,
Knives Out that I was talking about.
no, there's a Knives Out. It was the first one.
Ah,
This
okay.
is a second in the series, and Ryan Johnson was trying to
I'm gonna have to go
he
look for that.
yeah, Ryan Johnson had he loved the old Agatha Christie uh stories, you know, where they have the group of people and they're
Okay.
trying to figure out who done it kind of thing. That's why he made this movie like this. You know, you got these larger than life characters and got to kind of figure out who did what. So yeah,
Gotcha.
I thought it was cool. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
And if you're careful, you'll learn what a malapropism is.
Wait, so you didn't see the first one?
I did not see the first one. I'm gonna go back and
Okay.
watch
Yeah,
that.
you and
I
you
gotta
and
find out
you and
where I
Donna need to
can
back
watch
up.
it first.
You don't need to know the first one. It's its own story, but
Yeah.
it's more the same.
All right.
So,
I
yeah.
will go look for where I can find it. Also, another one I watched was Inside the Mind of a Cat, because we are cat
You
owners.
don't want to go there.
Actually, it was very educational. I
Okay.
wasn't sure. At first I thought it was going to be, kind of humorous and stupid, and look at these funny things cats do. It
No,
was
I
actually
think you're thinking of our podcast.
Yeah.
Funny and stupid.
Description. No, this was filled with a lot of research because they said, there's been a lot of research on dogs and their behavior and their relationship with humans. Haven't done the same level of research with cats until like the last 10 or so years. And they've discovered all these behaviors and went, oh, okay. So, if I do this, the cat can change its behavior a little bit, or if I do this, I come across as less threatening. So I found it interesting as much as there were a few points in there I went, yep, that's what that means. Yep, when the cat's doing this, that you can, after you've had a cat for a while, you can kind of gauge the behaviors. So some of this
I
was
think I
really
should
good.
probably watch this because I
It
got 4
is.
of them. I got 4
Yeah.
of them to.
You may interact with them a little differently. I tried some of the tips they said on our outdoor cat that adopted us. It's going to take time. They said patience is the key with cats,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and they have a short attention span. So
Well,
if
I always wondered. For a long time I was looking for answers for like what's the average intelligence of a dog compared to a person, and it's like a toddler, or some dogs are more, of course, just like people.
what they did prove things like common misconceptions, like cats do recognize their name.
Yeah, I believe that. Oh, I know that. Yes,
Yeah.
I do know that.
Yeah, whether they choose to react or not, or what their reaction is still up for
Yeah.
debate. But so there
Yeah,
was a lot of fascinating stuff.
I
Like,
choose to ignore you.
right.
Oh, he doesn't know his name. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you that slow blink and look away.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I do believe that because I've said their names and I get reaction from one cat and not the others. So yeah.
Yep.
But like just like dogs, cats have been companions to humans for a long time. So
Right. They even did
obviously
a little.
they've grown. Obviously they've grown to into that role, I guess. Kind of like dogs have. They kind of learn and to live with us and how to do things.
There was
Like
even
they're-
some things that suggested cats have modified their like purring to make us love them more. Like, okay. So now we know who's in control.
I'm sorry, I don't see that.
Gotta watch the show, man. Gotta
Okay,
watch the
I'll watch
show.
it. I'll check it out. Let me put it on my list.
All right.
I'll put it.
We're going to move into the Geek Library real quick with just a couple of tips for you. Not going to go through all of them. One is very visual, too. First one is from cracked.com. It says 15 science facts that aren't facts at all. I'm not going to read all of them to you, but the first one made me kind of go, wait, they're not even close on this one, or they need to be a little clearer. It says science totally understands how bees fly. Turns out you shouldn't get your science lessons from Seinfeld movies. Episodes. The idea
they had the bee movie.
Oh, gotcha.
You remember that?
The idea that bees shouldn't be able to fly according to laws of physics has been outdated by about 100 years. It's actually bumblebees. They missed the key word bumblebees. That's the one that's always got the myth.
Oh, they're saying bumblebees shouldn't be able to fly?
That's the common myth. But they're just saying bees. It's like, of course bees can fly.
Beans?
There's another one about
that was the other common word they missed. Beans.
Craig, number 13 is the one for you. Toilets don't flush the other way around in the other hemisphere.
Ah, Really?
The
The
Simpsons
Simpsons lied
lied
to
to
me.
you.
Yeah, that's right. Remember asking Philip, you know that, our old
Yeah,
listener Philip.
if he
Yeah,
could have reached through the microphone and slapped you, he would have.
I know.
Sugar doesn't make you hyper.
Nope.
It's not dangerous to wake up a sleepwalker. We have more than 5 senses. And
Hey,
he just
by the
yeah.
way, it's only dangerous when you wake them when they're holding that jar of pickles. You know,
You wake them and they're having an angry fighting Mortal Kombat dream.
yeah, wake them before they pick up the knife in the kitchen.
Right.
All right.
Ostriches don't stick their head in the sand when they're scared. This one I thought was interesting. Drinking milk won't give you strong bones. In fact, drinking too much milk might actually make things worse. So grow up and drink water like an adult.
Yeah, I mean,
Now,
you
you
get
need
calcium and stuff from
calcium.
food. Yeah, you get that from other food sources.
Right. But
Hmm.
I wouldn't tell somebody they shouldn't drink milk. I don't know. Calcium is important to your bone structure, especially as you get older. Let's see. Peeing on a jellyfish sting doesn't help.
Oh, I've dispelled that one.
Oh boy, you didn't actually try this.
No, but I didn't. But my nephew got stung by a jellyfish while we were at a beach house, and um, we just took what was it? Just warm soapy water and calmed it down. It calmed it down.
Mice don't love cheese. They actually think the smell of some cheeses are really gross because it is controlled spoilage after a while. Why would they want to eat something that's rotten?
Hmm.
Blood isn't blue before it's exposed to oxygen. So for all you people that think you're upper crust, try again. Gotta come up with
No, but it's
something.
actually like it is slightly different color, but not
It's
yeah,
a deeper red,
right.
but it is red. It's just the way that the light reflects off of your
Mhm.
skin when it's to that. Uh, the fallacy about you don't touch a baby bird or it'll be abandoned because they can smell it on you.
You know,
Or smell you on them. No.
I always heard that. Even when I was a kid,
Birds don't have a very good sense of smell. So that's no.
Oh, well, like I said, that's something I've heard ever since I was a kid. Have you not? I mean, you've heard the same thing, right?
It's you were told it to leave the birds alone
I
because you
know.
can
No, I'm
harm
just
them
saying
another
this
way.
is something that you've heard as well, right?
I did.
Yeah. So just
And
funny.
the earth is not round. It's not a sphere. Okay. It's not
Oh,
flat. It's
are you
not
gonna
flat.
say? What are you saying, Chuck? Okay. All right.
The technical name is it's an oblate spheroid. It bulges at the center because of the way that the spin
Yeah.
pulls.
Yeah.
It flattens at the poles a little bit. If you want to see an exaggerated example, look at Saturn sometime. Look at a good high resolution
Oh
view
yeah.
of Saturn. You will see
That kind of oval shape.
it's been smooshed a little bit. It's wider at the equator. So, yep. If the moon is more spherical than we are. All right, one
Yeah.
more that's mostly pictorial, and we're not going to go through all these. There are 56 retro future pictures, which are just a treat to look at.
I love this stuff. I
And some of
love
them
this
go
stuff.
back into the 1800s. I mean, this is like
Yeah.
John Jacob Astor envisioning. There was one of Seattle. They're like, well, there's a tower, a really tall tower that stands out. Doesn't look like the Space Needle at all, but it's there. These are fun to look at.
I love this art. The what they thought things were going to look like in the future.
Yep.
There's one right there. 13 of 56. There's the home. There's a home. Looks like the dad and the son are on the ground, and the family's flying around like the Jetsons in a UFO thing with the dog and everything.
An American mother and daughter arrive home from shopping in a futuristic spaceship, circa
Yeah,
1950s. They do
that's
have
right.
some things right, like self-driving cars. Hey, everybody, let's
Yeah,
play Scrabble in the back seat.
that's right.
Oh wait, in the future, it's going to be called Scrabble.
Scrabble. Yeah.
So lots of fun stuff about transportation. There's one that has them launching into space, but it's called like futurist airways or something.
Mhm.
I was like, wait, there's no airways in space. Why would you even call your company that? There's a unique bus of future to duplicate speed of railroads. It hauls cars and buses. This bus is like a big, almost like a land yacht that you can load up with other vehicles,
Right.
house planes and cars. It's kind of like a roaming Carvana store.
Yeah. Right.
We'll deliver your car to you. We'll deliver the whole bloody showroom to you. So yeah, there are a lot of fun things to look at. We invite you to go over to the show notes for episode 697. I almost said 127. That's the other show.
And we're coming up on
697.
700.
Yeah, we are. A few more weeks. Over at chuckchat.com/Technorama, or look for Technorama Podcast anywhere in your search engines. And with that, we leave you with one final question of the week. What is a 100% scam, but we accept it anyway in our society because we're just that dumb? We're going to leave that with you to think about. We'll put it on social media next week so that you can come back, answer the question. We'll read your funny answers on the air just like last time.
Insurance companies.
Insurance companies are a scam and we protect lawyers. No, we need lawyers. Trust me, when you need legal help, you need a lawyer.
Yeah.
Don't go it alone, people.
They're stupid until you need one. Just kidding.
The one that I like that Dave Slusher pointed out, because he's a thoughtful individual, was cloud storage. It's basically ransomware. We upload our stuff and they charge us money or they'll delete it. Like, how is this a good idea?
Yeah, well, you can kind of say that about a lot of things. But yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, taxes. There you go.
Taxes are a scam.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Till you need to federal taxes, I would say, but till you need to
taxing is
fix
theft.
a road or build a school or pay for teachers, someone's got to do that. It's got to come from the communal coffers in some way. All right, that's a Tim Adamick discussion right there.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten in deep a couple of nights. All right, this is the end of the show, so we are going to play the music and get on out of here. If you want to get a hold of us, Craig's going to put some information for the viewers on the screen.
Nah.
Or I'm going to tell you, 707-530-2428 is the number you want to call on your futuristic telephone device.
Your magic rectangle in your pocket. What?
That didn't come out right either.
Magic rectangle? All right.
707-530-CHAT is the number you want to remember, or put it in your speed dial. Give us a call anytime or text us. I don't know if has anybody actually tried that yet?
I looked
we tested
a while
it.
back. Yeah.
Okay. But you got to let us know. Email us, technorama@chuckchat.com. We'd love to hear from you. Any time of year. It doesn't have to be national, international, contact, reach out, voicemail, Technorama month, whatever we called it. Give us a binary high five because the music's over, Craig.
All right, 101. 101.
There we are. The audio recording is complete. We are going to get that uploaded and out to you. So you should hear that Wednesday if you're a regular subscriber to the podcast, or skip it because you just watched the whole show on Facebook or YouTube.
Oh, by the way, Google Voice, we got a message. Your telephone service provider is unable to bill you for these calls. If you wish to receive these calls.
If you wish to get your voicemail, pay us
that was
more.
the sentence right there. If you wish to receive these calls, period, you must contact us.
I didn't see a notification of that.
It's a voicemail from, I don't know, November 21st. I ignored. I think I ignored it.
Yeah, I ignored that. We also got like a 13-second one that was just like, like the transcript said unable to transcribe.
Yeah. Oh, wait, we did get a text. Health coverage update. Open enrollment extended for special SBA approved self-employed health plan. Lower premiums, big savings. Call
Small business something.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wait.
Thank you everybody for watching. We're gonna kill the video stream right now because we're gonna go record our Patreon show for those people, and they will get that on Monday. So say goodbye, Craig.
Oh, goodbye, Craig.
Goodbye, Craig.